my heart was just so full of what can I do? You know, I don't know exactly what the word is for that, but it just left me feeling a need to help them, and I felt empty because it's not enough. Like, what can I do?
With the little they have, they share everything, and yet at the same time, you know, they watch out for everybody, and yet they're still treated like street dogs. So it's just like, how can you do that to a human being? But it's reality.
I really connected with a lot of the stories they're talking about, just from the country I come from. I'm from Mexico, so I kind of related a lot to the stories there. So it definitely brought a lot of emotions of brokenness, but also emotions of healing.
I knew that there was a lot of kids living on the streets. How much it affected me was more what surprised me, kind of caught me off guard.
It's heartbreaking, so it makes me want to step out and do something.
I was surprised. I didn't know about any of the, like I knew that some things were bad, but I didn't know anything about how many kids there were, and then seeing some of them that were my age, like, I don't know, it just...
Not knowing, you know, what's in the needles when they're doing that. Just, you know, they just know that it takes away the pain. Wow.
I think this is a film everyone needs to see. It's very powerful and moving, and it tells a story of how someone in the United States, just an everyday person, can really help someone in need on the other side of the world.
It's not appropriate to live in a bubble and ignore what's going on in the world, even if some of it might be hard to hear or might be negative. These are people's lives. These are real human beings who have a story to tell, and people to love them.
It shows that sometimes when you have been in just deplorable conditions, that becomes home to you and that's safe, and even though you're offered a way out, sometimes that change is scary. And I think that's very realistic, and that's a side of the plight of orphans around the world that we don't always see.
It was very emotional to see that, and it's a big reality check. I think sometimes we forget just how fortunate we are and just what really goes on.
I think seeing the Mother India film would open your eyes to a problem that's huge. And a few years ago, some guys started doing some work in Africa, and there's huge movements and change happening in Africa, and it's awesome. And for humanitarian efforts and for people who care about other people, India is the next step. India is the next place. And there are great things being done in other parts of the world, but India has very little help, and it needs anyone whose heart is willing.
You know, I just really think it would help people to be grateful and thankful for what they have. And it makes you appreciate life.
If you like adventure, if you want to see more than your own little world, come and see.
It's hard to see without wanting to do something, which is great, because I think we should all be motivated to step out of our comfort zone and to look at life differently, you know, and to know that, like Harley said, we have it so good and we should make a difference.
And we have such an overwhelming abundance here in the United States. We need to share that with others around the world. So you should come out and see it. It's wonderful.
How could you not see it? How could you live another day without being aware and being weighed? I mean, we do have it really lucky where we're at. Doesn't matter, you know, anything. I would just say, you gotta watch it. You have to see it. The film will speak for itself.
At the end of the film, I just felt so encouraged and inspired by the hope that there is when people act.
True to life, it's authentic, it's not sugar-coated, or it's not scripted or like reality TV. It really is how they live, and I think they did a great job in capturing that.
At first when they said there's 31 million people, kids mostly, that are orphaned, it just feels like an overwhelming number. But what I loved about the film is it began telling the stories of each child from a lot of different aspects, and I felt like I really got to know the kids in the movie. And it gave me a sense of hope when I saw that there was a way to help kids, especially the young ones, by getting them into an orphan home where they can get an education and they can have a better life.
It's like a flood of love pouring in your heart, and you will be enriched, not only just seeing a movie like an ordinary movie, you will be enriched with something bigger and deeper.